Hi, everybody. Welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I am so sorry, guys. I'm late. Let me make sure I got everything going on my end. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. 1 second, guys. One second. Okay, guys. Thank you. Sorry about that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for being so patient. Yesterday, I took off, y'all. I was really under the weather yesterday. Everyone, we live now. Come on, Discord. Everybody bring coffee. That's right. Whoever. Thank you, Natasha. This is a cute one. Bring coffee with the Batman signal. Shout out to everybody in the chat, y'all. The weather is changing. I was feeling pretty just tired yesterday. I think I just needed some more rest. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, appreciate it. It's been a crazy week, that's for sure, and it's not even over yet. I think it just started for the most part. Hi, Titanium Build. How are you, my love? Shout out to everybody in the chat. All right, y'all gonna hit the like button, okay? That's what we're gonna do. We gotta hit the like. It's very easy to support by hitting the like. Now, I want us to get started with a very, I'd say disturbing, well, definitely disturbing, but I'm still trying to find out more information about the situation. So, you guys know Anglican, that's how you say that church. Um, I always feel some type of way about growing up. Yeah, I was raised Catholic church has a lot of problems. A lot of these churches have a lot of problems, and there's a lot of faith and hope and understanding that is put on these church leaders, right? So I wanted us to get started on this situation right here. So this Anglican church, this just broke this morning. Anglican church bishop accused of misconduct. All right. So this is Bishop Stephen Wood, who heads the Anglican Church of North America, faces allegations of sexual harassment, bullying, plagiarism, according to an explosive report released by the Washington Post. Now, so this is an archbishop who heads that Anglican Church of North America, faces allegations of, we just said them, the list of charges signed by at least 10 individuals attesting to allegations is the latest in a sting of cries to rock the small conservative denomination. Claire Burton, a former children's ministry director at St. Andrew's Church in Mount Pleasant on South Carolina, where Woods served as a rector, told the Post that Woods attempted to kiss her in his office in April of 2024. You said you do your religious stuff at home. I despise most religious because of the stuff. Mm. You said agnostic and Anglican. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know too much about this denomination. I really don't. To even tell you that I know everything, I'm letting y'all know. I'm being very honest. It sounds like they are very conservative, which I would think aren't most churches conservative. Maybe that's just my understanding of what I believe could be or isn't. I personally don't believe in religion, says Janine. Some people don't. And I think it's situations like this that get people away from religion, right? Like when you hear things like this, when, some of these church leaders do things like this. So the specific person, right, Claire Burton, a former child ministry director, said where Wood served as a rector, told the Post that Wood attempted to kiss her in his office in April 2024. That was just last year, just before he was elected to replace the Bishop Foley Beach as head of the denomination. Burton claimed that before the incident, Wood gave her more than $3,000 for church funds, and that the church employees had commented on Wood's excessive praises and fondness for her. So other people were around about this. Priests have also accused Wood of plagiarizing sermons and bullying staff members before becoming an archbishop. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's a lot. It sounds like and I do wonder if, I mean, I'm looking for the criminal complaints, right? Because these people need to be held accountable. And there's a reason why a lot of these church members and laws have changed, so that if you work as at an archdiocese, or if you work as a whatever director of a church, whatever it may be, you could be the janitor working at the church and you could be a mandated reporter, right? But when it becomes to adult situations, other adults making other adults feel uncomfortable, I mean, eh, you who do you tell? Do you ask the adult if they're okay? Because this is, if it's children, it's a little bit different, right? But if it's another adult who saw some of the fondness, like, who do you report to? HR? And what if they don't believe you? What do you do here? I feel like the churches, like I say, get away with stuff. The cults get away with things. And there is that. And so then Wood spoke. Okay, Stephen Wood spoke, and he said, I do not believe these allegations have any merit. The alleged perpetrator says, I don't believe these allegations have any merit, who also continued to serve as a bishop of the Diocese of the Carolinas. In a statement to Religious News Series, I place my faith and trust in the process outlined in our canons to bring clarity and truth in these matters, and respectfully decline to comment further at this time. Ask the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator, did you do it? I don't believe I did. I don't believe I broke the law. I don't believe I did. So it's I don't know. A lot of wars were fought in the name of religion, and people make excuses for it, period. Or try to push it under the rug, and they don't want to talk about the dark side of religion. That's right. They don't. Um Interesting. Thank you, Dory, for explaining. So it's like from the Church of England, crested by the nice guy of King Henry VIII. He broke from the Roman, well, a lot of them come from like Catholicism, right? And began that church, all the time unaliving 8 wives. He unalived 8 wives, the leader of it. You said lock him up. Let's keep going with this article. But he says he doesn't believe it, all right? The charges, okay, so we have some charges, included the presentment included alleged violation of vows conducted giving cause for scandal of offense and sexual immorality. I was shocked. Burton told the Post that it was just bizarre to me how far we, the Anglican Church in North America and its leadership, have gotten away from basic moral and principles. The Post reposted that a rector in Wood's diocese wrote a letter to Wood in 2019 questioning his moral authority to serve as bishop. He accused Wood of preaching sermons he didn't write, publicly cursing at colleagues, and using a $60,000 truck provided by the Diocese of Church for visits. What? Give me 1 second, guys. The dog, guys. The dog starts barking, and I have to figure out why is he barking. So he says, I was in shock. Burton told the Post, it's just bizarre to me how far the Anglican Church in North America, its leadership have gotten away from moral basic principles. So he was driving around with a $60,000 truck provided by the diocese for church visits. Why does he have a $60,000 truck? Why does he have a $60,000 truck? That is the question. What? Who bought that? Who bought the truck? What donations were used for the truck? This is crazy. Um, then Woods left the diocese soon after, using a $60,000 truck provided by the diocese. Then he left the diocese. Burton told the Post that Woods began acting inappropriately with her in the fall 2021, repeatedly showering her with money, calling her Claire Bear, and offering to send her luxury resorts. Burton said that she was fearful that Woods would attempt to start a physical relationship with her. When she confronted him in April of 2024, Woods reportedly told her, "You know how special you are to me. You're my favorite person in the world." When she got up to leave, the Post reported that he put his hands against the back, oh God, it's hard for me to even read this, just the details. Crazy. Um, it's like hard to read. It's like, oh my God. The Post reported he put his hand against the back of her head and trying to kiss her. By September 2025, less than a year into Wood's tenure as an archbishop, a group of Wood's former colleagues, many now priests, have drafted presentments, I think that's what they're called, and received signatures from at least 10 clergy and lay people from the denomination as required by church laws. What do we do? Oh man, some people just deserve to get arrested. Why are we doing all these in betweens? Like, I get it. Everybody's got a process. We got to do a process, but like, what? Why? The Post reported that after the presentment was submitted, denominational officials asked those who signed the presentment re-sign it and attest to the truth of the allegations under penalty of perjury. Under church law, I mean, okay, church is a whole different thing. One of the presentment's authors told the Post the group backing the presentments declined to comply, saying it was not required by church bylaws. The church was founded in 2009 after some 700 church split from the Episcopalian Church and the Church of Canada, various other disagreements, including the acceptance of women priests, the LGBTQ plus affirmance, and the rewritten books of the Common Prayer. In July of 2021, a mother went public with allegations with Mark Rivera, a one-time lay leader at Church of Our Light Church in Big Rock, Anglican Big Rock, Louisiana, had sexually abused a 9-year-old daughter. This is too much, y'all. More than 10 clergy and other lay people in the upper Midwest diocese have been accused of misconduct as a result of this bishop, another bishop. Like, this is too much. This is too much. When you get to a point where you're like, people will create processes. People need to understand that some things aren't of God, right? The processes that are created within an institution aren't always of God, right? For you to have to sign this, reaffirm all of this, and none of this, is it even legally binding? Probably not. I don't know. That is crazy, right? They're all corrupt. Like, but they have all kinds of allegations there. King Charles will not be happy. Oh my God. I know. I'm like, Randall God, those are just church, like rules, but they respect bylaws. Like, what? That is so crazy. That's nothing. That's not of God. When church does this much, I'm sorry. I don't agree with it. I just don't. Who said that? Who made those rules? Who was there? Where's the receipt? Then they bring out the Bible. This is the receipt. Now where? Now how come I can't read it the way you understand it? Because I understand it differently. Then it becomes this whole thing. Like, that's too much. That is too much. Culty. 10,000%. That's not in the scripture. Go, if you've been sexually abused by some man in a robe, go through this bylaw, through this priest, confess your sins and your thoughts, and then touch the e-meters. No, that's too much. That's not of God. I don't think God would have wanted that. I'm just saying. Like, what are we doing? That's crazy work. Anyways, let's keep going. Yeah, I was like, oh, that really did kind of upset me. It did. Hey, by the way, there was no rapture for us. What rule did we not follow that none of us got raptured? That's what I want to know. Because the way I remember it last time is nobody knows the hour in the day when it happens. And I'm very spiritual. Please note that I am, but I just don't believe in the fluff in between. I don't. But no, that's my understanding is nobody really knows the hour or the time of the day. Right. But I just, because I didn't get raptured, y'all didn't get raptured in the chat. So clearly, I don't know who did. I don't know, but it wasn't us. It really wasn't. You got raptured. It couldn't walk. Wait. You got raptured. Okay, honey bears. You got raptured and you couldn't walk for days. This is what hold up. This is what James said. Shout out to James. Y'all are too funny. Um y'all make me laugh. Okay, let me stop. Kathy, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Rapture these nuts. There you go. Time out. All right. Let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going. You guys are bad. I don't know why you guys are acting this way. See, this is why I get in trouble. Um, the chat gets mad at people get mad at me. They watch the replay. I just had to unsubscribe. You are so inappropriate sometimes, and I just can't. I can't. So I must unsubscribe. I'm sorry. And I'm sad. Anyways. Okay. Now, on a more serious note, because we do have to switch it up. I just some of these stories are so heavy, so I do have to kind of like get myself out of the seriousness for a minute. I want us to talk about Kada Scott because there have been new details that were revealed. Unfortunately, I didn't go live yesterday. I was really not feeling very well. Give me one sec, y'all. Um, I'll let you go to your corner. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Rando from Iowa. Let him know. Um, on a more serious note, I was not here for a lot of the new information that came out of Kada Scott. There's a lot of good creators that talked about it. So we're gonna talk about Kada Scott, and then we're gonna talk about David and some of the commentary that his friends gave about what's going on with David and Celeste. But before we get there, let's talk about Kada Scott. So for those that don't know, Kada Scott is the beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous woman who initially went missing. She was last seen, I think, October 4th. And she was leaving her job. She worked at like an assistant facility. She worked overnight shifts. Her phone and her social media did not have a lot of activity. Prior to this, she alleged that she had been receiving harassing messages from a person. They didn't know who it was initially. Her remains were later found like in a school area on October the 18th in a shallow grave. The school was like vacant, so it was like a shallow grave. A very sad situation, right? Her DNA has been confirmed and it's matched. It's her. She was 23 years old. Okay. Now, the uh, Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office has deemed this now a homicide. And they said that she died of a gunshot wound to the head. They have the perpetrator. They were able to catch the perpetrator before they found her body. And the perpetrator suspect is Keon King, 21. Now, Keon King has a history and pattern of doing such behaviors. In May, I believe there was another incident where he kidnapped a woman. There was strangulation, that type of situation. The woman was able to get away, and there was a witness. Keon was able to bond out, and the victim and the witness basically disappeared. They disappeared, right? They didn't want to testify, nothing. The DA's office, this is a huge error of the DA's office, because the reality is, had they pursued charges on Keon at the time, there would be no Kada Scott. Okay. Sorry about that. So if the DA had moved over with charges, there would be no Kada Scott missing, if that makes sense. He would have been held accountable. There would have been something further. And it's crazy because now we have these press conferences where the DA and everybody's like, well, we dropped the ball. Initially it was the blame on the bail reform, which could very well still be the case. Don't get me wrong. But it's a ridiculous situation that they had a pattern of behavior. He was able to make bail because the guy is a drug dealer and he's got access to resources and people. One of the things that we initially said, well, there's no way that he committed this alone. Like, there's got to be another person who he might have said something to, and whatnot. There was initially we were told that there was a car that we needed to look at. Then there was another car that was identified stolen that was used basically to transport her body. Okay. Now, initially he was first charged with kidnapping in relation to the disappearance. And as of late, he's been charged with murder, along with the offenses of robbery, abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and more. Okay. Apparently there have been court documents that have revealed messages between Kada and Keon. And so some of them people have had thoughts about, and I want to talk about those here, but I have to kind of wonder whether Kada knew, or at least because we've all been 23, we've all been 21. Yes, we're adults by legal age, but we're not always thinking, right? We're not always using all parts of our senses to really understand what is a dangerous person, what is a dangerous situation, how you should protect yourself. I've talked about this before. So let's get into this commentary, this news, and then we're going to give some commentary to it. And let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Kada died today. The 23-year-old's death officially ruled a homicide yesterday. Police have since charged Keon King with her death. New court documents revealing the timeline leading up to Kada's death and what happened after.
NBC 10's Lily Zhang is outside Ada Lewis Middle School in East Germantown with what those documents say.
There are a few moving parts with this investigation, including surveillance video as well as cell phone activity. Part of that cell phone activity includes text messages, exchanges between Keon King and Kada Scott. There's also now an investigation into a possible second suspect. A dozen phone calls. This is what investigators say was exchanged between Kada Scott and Keon King on October 4th, the night she disappeared. Court documents revealed some texts between Scott and King. One from Scott reading, quote, "Kidnap me again," with King allegedly replying, "Better be up to." It's followed up by Scott telling him to call her when he arrived. Documents also state a co-worker of Scott's at the nursing home told police they saw Scott around 10 o'clock on October 4th and overheard her saying, quote, "I can't believe you're calling me about this," before Scott walked toward a dark-colored car parked outside of the job just before 10:15. Her phone goes dead 9 minutes later. Not long after, detectives say King was at the rec center near Ada Lewis Middle in Germantown. They also believe Scott was likely dead by that point. They say surveillance video shows King getting out of a black car, a stolen Hyundai Accent, and walking away. The next night, investigators say King drove back to the rec center, this time in a gold Camry with someone else, the two seeming to remove something from the Hyundai toward the place where Scott's remains were eventually found. The pair are seen on video walking away. 2 days later, King goes back, taking off with the Hyundai before it was set on fire overnight on October 7th. Philadelphia Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel says this investigation isn't over.
I like even finding out what was the connection, what was there, what messages, what happened exactly, how well she knew this guy, what happened.
Continue to pursue anyone who helped, who concealed, who participated in this act. We will not stop.
And back here at Ada Lewis, a memorial for Scott continues to grow this morning. Detectives, we're told, have also interviewed two women who King allegedly lived with, and they have recovered a number of items, including ammunition as well as gloves. We're told that none of those items were believed to be connected to where Kada Scott's body was found. For now, reporting in East Germantown, Lily Zhang, NBC 10 News.
And community members got the chance to voice their concerns about the Kada Scott case. A community safety town hall was held with city leaders last night. Mayor Sherelle Parker and Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel offered their condolences to Scott's family. Then community members brought up their worries. Things got tense when one woman questioned the school district superintendent about why Ada Lewis Middle School was sat vacant for years.
Now that's interesting.
That's where Scott's body was found.
He should have been here answering questions as to why those schools looked the way that they did.
Superintendent says the school district is reviewing all of its vacant properties in the next week to make sure they're in appropriate shape. The district will make recommendations this winter on how the schools can be repurposed. Again, expected to learn new information on Kada's death sometime today. When we get those details, we'll bring them to you live on air and online.
Okay. So there's more details to this, right? I mean, you do have news articles from Fox 29. Kada Scott court documents reveal text messages with Keon King before her disappearance. So Keon King faces the homicide charges, but the court documents reveal messages between King and Scott before she disappeared. And so apparently this was from September 28th to October 4th, the day she disappeared. On October 4th at about 7 p.m., the affidavit of probable cause says Scott allegedly texted King, "Kidnap me again," to which King replied, "You better be up to it," followed by plans to later meet that night. Let's see if we can play this.
Check this out. In just a sec, I'm going to speak with a different accent. And just between you and me, I don't really know how.
Major developments in what is now a homicide investigation of 23-year-old Kada Scott. A medical examiner today officially ruling her manner of death as a homicide. It comes just 18 days after she disappeared. And tonight, we're learning more about what led police to their suspect, Keon King.
The district attorney charging the 21-year-old with murder and other charges following the ME's ruling. Kada Scott disappeared the night of October 4th. Her remains were found just 2 weeks later at the former Ada Lewis Middle School in Germantown. More now on the list of charges that King is facing, including robbery and abuse of a corpse. Our Steve Keeley is live tonight for us. And Steve, we now know that Kada and King were texting with each other.
Wow.
Well, legal filings in the case reveal the evidence that police obtained to make their case for murder against Keon King, and also show how he tried to cover it up and got help after.
Somebody help.
At 7 a.m. on the morning of October 4th, 12 hours before she was last seen, Kada Scott texted, "Kidnap me again," to her accused killer, Keon King, followed by plans to meet later that night, the affidavit of probable cause states, supporting homicide, abuse of corpse, and conspiracy charges among 11 more crimes filed against King. Detectives don't know yet what Kada possibly meant with that "kidnap me again" text, whether she had been taken before by him, or if her text was her just joking around to help her skip work that turned into awful, deadly irony.
What do you guys make of that? What was it, a joke? Did they know each other? Was it a serious thing? Was this like kind of like, because that was the question. How did they meet? How do they know each other?
Also in the court filing, video evidence King had help taking Kada Scott's body from a stolen car and burying her in the shallow grave behind the long vacated Philadelphia public school, supporting the conspiracy charges. Detectives believe King killed Kada Scott within the hour she got into his car where she worked, and her body was left in that car for a full day after. The next night, Sunday, October 5th, the affidavit states video shows King returned to the lot he parked that car in with Kada's body, but wasn't alone. Arriving in the gold Toyota Camry police recovered last week, video from the nearby Philadelphia Rec Center surveillance camera shows two individuals on foot approached the suspect vehicle after waiting 4.5 hours until 3:56 a.m.
So there's other individuals involved, right? Yeah, maybe she was just being flirty. I mean, that's what it kind of gave, but maybe it went from that to something else. Like, it's kind of, like I said, when you're this age, you don't always usually understand, you don't think about doing background checks on people. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think about, excuse me, things like that. You don't think about, well, maybe he's got something going on. You're flirting, you're young, but there's other individuals involved in this, clearly.
One motions toward the gold Camry they came in, and it drives out of the parking lot, indicating a third person involved. King and the other person with him then go back to the Hyundai Accent, remove a heavy object consistent with a human body, and carry that object to the playground in the direction of where the human remains were recovered.
Somebody
the Hyundai
help.
is later seen driving out of the parking lot, and it was later found set on fire and completely burned. The affidavit states the sequence of King's phone radio tower transmission measurements, coupled with video evidence from the Albury Rec Center, supports that King is present for and participates in all the crimes outlined in this affidavit.
My goodness.
Now, while King is charged with 3 different gun crimes in these latest 11 charges today, the medical examiner's office here did not say yet how Kada was killed, just for now ruling her death a homicide. And detectives who share their police headquarters with the medical examiner's office here in the same building are nowhere near finished. They told me they're working to now identify King's co-conspirators, those with him in those 2 cars used, one who helped put Kada in that shallow grave, and perhaps Sheba and Jason, the one who tipped off police to go back to where they had searched prior, but knew where police needed to go exactly, pinpointing the...
It was a tipster, right? There was a tipster that called and he was like, you guys missed it. You need to go back. Nebula says, being flirty shouldn't cost one's their life. Is this planet Earth? Just asking for a friend. No, it's the truth. Like, I just don't think she realized the danger that she was in by... maybe she didn't know him well, but at some point, clearly she told people that she was receiving these harassing messages, so was it always playful? Was it always inviting? You just never know. You never know. There was a tipster that knew exactly what happened. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they were actually there or if they let the other person know. He said, I know a guy who was doing this for big money and his ex ended up framing him, but he actually is innocent. Federal jury did not think so. LOL. So he did 11 years. Women who pay was a CEO. Oh, wow. He stole the car to meet her. Didn't use his own car. He had another car. I think she died shortly after having been kidnapped or taken or whatever it was. And he used another car shortly after. He got rid of the Camry. The other car that he used was stolen.
Those detectives Saturday to where Kada's body was buried in that shallow grave. So they're still working to get those others.
Yeah, that theory makes sense, Steve.
Yeah. All right. Steve Keeley, thank you very much.
Like I said, it's a sad situation because it's like, when you're young, you get into these situations, you underestimate people or even the things that you say, like
Shropshire. While investigators have not yet revealed how she died, we are learning more about the conversations leading up to her death. It's been a long month for the Scott family. Scott was reported missing after she vanished 18 days ago during her overnight shift at a nursing home in Northeast Philadelphia. And then on October 14th, Keon King turned himself over to police. He was charged with kidnapping.
And the very next day,
he turned himself over to police. Oh, I thought they had captured him. Wow.
Searched near an abandoned school. There was no sign of Kada Scott in that area. A tip led police back to that same area 4 days later, and that's when Scott's body was found. Then King faced another round of charges. That brings us to this afternoon when police announced a third set of charges against King. He is facing about 20 charges in all, including murder, abuse of a corpse, arson, stalking, and robbery.
The investigation is far from over. Court documents give us a closer look at the last text messages leading up to her disappearance and death. NBC 10's Shair Arias is live in Germantown, where the city hosted a safety meeting blocks away from where Scott's body.
That's a great question. Did she expect to see him that night? Or because when they said, next time I see you, kid, it almost makes it sound like that might have been a different day. So Minds Y'all said there was a report that I heard that Kada may have had a date earlier that day, and the King found out maybe he killed her out of jealousy. Like, did he know? Like, did she expect to go with him that night? That's the question, because she was assigned for a shift to work. She had just started this job at the nursing home. So it kind of has given me that she wasn't expecting to go with him. The DA dropped the ball months ago, and now they want to go back and charge him for those charges. But apparently he has had a pattern of behavior like this, and there's likely more victims that have not come forward because of this guy's connections, resources, money. You know, he's a known dealer, that type of situation. Supposedly Kate is on TikTok and said 2 people knew prior to everyone else. It was 2 girls, one named Dee and the other one named Gabby. Gabby explained how King and Kada met. Wow. How do we know that that's the auntie?
Body was found. What did they say about the case, Shaira?
Fred, great question, because the first thing that Mayor Sherelle Parker said was that she was not going to get into the investigation or give details about the investigation of Kada Scott. But what we are able to see with these court documents was that last conversation, what Kada was saying to King that night that she disappeared.
Yes, sir. It's heartbreaking for what happened to Jada and her family.
Kathy Warsinger was one of the many people who lives in Germantown to show up to Wednesday night's Community Safety Town Hall meeting. The same community that continues to grapple with the trauma of recently losing one of their own, 23-year-old Kada Scott.
We don't know what the motive is. Why did he kill her? Like, if they knew each other, right? I don't know what would be the motive other than just evil as hell.
This was someone that we all, in some way or another, connected to.
On Wednesday, 21-year-old Keon King, who was recently charged with kidnapping Scott, was charged with murder and other offenses after officials ruled Scott's cause of death a homicide. Court documents obtained by our news partners at KYW detail critical cell phone evidence that places King's cell phone where Kada was last seen, as well where her body was found. According to the documents, on October 4th, the night Scott disappeared, as she was on her way to work in Chestnut Hill, she received a dozen calls from a number linked to King. Investigators say King texted Kada, letting her know he had a new number. Kada asked who it was. King then replied, Kel, as the 2 made plans to meet up. That same night, Kada wrote, kidnap me again.
Okay.
King replied, better be up to. Officials say that.
So they agreed to meet that night, but she was working. So how was that supposed to work? I'm trying to understand this timeline specifically. Hold up, y'all.
Calls from a number linked to King. Investigators say King texted Kada, letting her know he had a new number. Kada asked who it was. King then replied, Kel, as the 2 made plans to meet up. That same night, Kada wrote, kidnap me again. King replied, better be up to. Officials say their last exchange was at 10:09, when Kada texted King to call her when he arrived. A co-worker of Scott told police they heard Scott upset that night. Police say Scott was last seen leaving her job in a 2008 Hyundai. The same vehicle police say was stolen and later intentionally set on fire on October 7th. Cell phone activity shows Scott and King arrived at the Auberry Rec Center's parking lot the night she disappeared. Sources tell
co-workers said that she was upset that night. Okay. But it doesn't sound like it was necessarily a meetup. She just told them where she was going to be. Maybe she just didn't expect that this would happen tonight this way, or that this was the extent that they were going to go.
NBC 10, they believe Scott was killed 20 to 30 minutes after she went missing. Police say surveillance video of the rec center captured 2 people arriving and exiting King's vehicle. But then, just hours later, 2 suspects are seen removing from the vehicle what they believe to be someone's body and placing it in the area where Scott's remains were found. Police say the investigation into Scott's murder is far from over.
Recovering Kada's body was not the outcome we had hoped for, but we are grateful that we were able to bring her home.
Commissioner Kevin Bethel vowing to hold everyone accountable in her murder responsible.
We continue to pursue anyone who helped, who concealed, who participated in this act. We will not stop.
It's crazy.
And just want to let all the residents here in Germantown know that here at True Light Fellowship Church, starting tomorrow at 10 a.m., they are going to be offering resources for those residents who just simply want to talk.
Do we know? I don't feel like we even really understand how they actually met, right? Was it through an app or what? This is just it's a senseless crime. Now, again, They dropped the charges. They could have refiled later. They should have just, like, even the DA said in the press conference that they dropped the ball. They know that they did. They dropped the ball in this case. They did. He should have been charged the first. They should have moved forward with the other ones. He had a pattern of behavior. He said, wait, didn't they say they had other? Yes, he does. Hold up. Let me go back a little bit.
Her job in a 2008 Hyundai, the same vehicle police say was stolen and later intentionally set on fire on October 7th. Cell phone activity shows Scott and King arrived at the Auberry Rec Center's parking lot the night she disappeared. Sources tell NBC 10 they believe Scott was killed 20 to 30 minutes after she went missing. Police say surveillance video of the rec center captured two people arriving and exiting King's vehicle. But then, just hours later, two suspects are seen removing from the vehicle what they believe to be someone's body and placing it in the area where Scott's remains were found. Police say the investigation into Scott's murder is far from over.
Recovering Katie's body was not the outcome we had hoped for, but we are grateful that we were able to bring her home.
Commissioner Kevin Bethel vowing to hold everyone accountable in her murder responsible.
We continue to pursue anyone who helped, who concealed, who participated in this act. We will not stop.
It's crazy, man. I hope all of them get whoever. Clearly, there's more than one person involved in this. They all deserve to be charged. I'm sorry, hold them accountable. Hold all of them accountable for the things, the inactions in this, in my opinion, or, helping out, whatever it was, whatever role they play. Even the person that gave that tip sounded like that they knew a lot more than what was going on. She was so young and impacted so many lives in a short time. Yes, the other victims were females as well. Well, the one that we know of. There might have been other ones. They believe that there's some that didn't even speak out yet. I truly hope that they start speaking out because there's more to this. Unfortunately, when people like law enforcement, CPS and DA and judges drop the ball, victims pass away. Yeah, it takes somebody to pass away before they start making changes, right? Then they call it so-and-so's law, so-and-so's law. It's just so frustrating. It really is. Hold up, y'all. Whew, sorry about that. The DA did take accountability for King being out, kind of. Yeah. Here's the deal, y'all. The DA took accountability for King being out. I have a problem with that because KK, I'm sure you have family members, right? You might have a child or maybe not. But if this were a cousin, a child, a sibling of yours, whatever it may be, and this was your family, I'm sure that you feel some type of way. To me, him saying all this stuff, we dropped the ball and yada, 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 we're taking accountability. I'm sorry, I just don't accept that. I don't think that people deserve to be removed from those positions when it's costing other people's lives. That's just my opinion. Okay, hold up, y'all. Okay, sorry about that. You said not KK, not Christina Cora. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Too many out of there shouldn't be and results in these additional tragedies ending. Should never happen. Yeah. Was the firearm recovered? I don't know if it was recovered. That's a great question. I didn't hear that, but I do wonder. But it sounds like he turned himself in. So that's what it sounds like. You said Kada was on another date earlier. That's what Mind Y'all said. Maybe King got jealous from what the other girls on TikTok spoke about. He was very charming at first. I don't know, man. I'm waiting for the police to release those details. Let me do some shout outs before I move on. Sorry, guys. Mind Y'all gifted, Nebby gifted, James, you guys gifted. Thank you guys for gifting memberships. Make sure you guys are putting hearts in the chat if you've been gifted. Okay. Thank you, love. Shout out to you guys. Thank you. And the Screen Addict, thank you for becoming a member. And Sue, thank you so much for renewing your membership. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, lip service. That's what it seems like to me. You said there have been two incidences in which different women accused King of taking them and hurting them. Both cases got dropped because the witnesses didn't show up. And it's not that they couldn't charge. They could have moved forward and they decided not to. That's what happened. So the DA's office dropped the ball. There would be no let me repeat myself. There would be no Kada Scott today had they just moved forward with charges. And that's why he came in there paying lip service. I'm sorry. And it is. Okay. And I get it. Agencies, people make mistakes, but you literally, you didn't move forward with somebody who clearly had a pattern, and there's other victims out there. So yeah, no, I don't care if he apologized. I just don't. Because if that was my child or your child, like, you guys would be singing a different tune. So yeah, I just don't, I'm no. Let's see. Thank you. Did he kidnap her before she even went to work and texted himself for a phone? Ooh, did he kidnap her before she went to work? No, she clocked. If my understanding is that she clocked in and then she went to the parking lot. And then that's kind of where it happened. So she never returned to the work place. Anyways, guys, thank you guys. Thank you guys. We got to move on. So of course, if more developments. Oh, shit. My camera unplugged, y'all. Sorry. It unplugs right when I'm in the middle of a sentence. It is what it is. All right, hold up, y'all. That's what happens. We got to switch the battery to the camera while we're here. Sorry, y'all. I got to switch the camera battery. 1 second. Okay, let's see. I know. Where'd I go? What's the camera? The camera battery died. Sorry, y'all. All right, 1 second. One second. Fixing the camera battery. The camera battery died. 1 sec, y'all. Literally, I don't know why the camera's not turning on. Come on, my friend. I'm messing with the camera. It's giving me a hard time. We might have to do this without a camera. Let's see. Let me switch the battery one more time. Oh, no. Welcome, everybody. We're about to give some commentary on the David situation. It's just my camera battery died in the middle of the live, so I got to switch it up. So give me a second. Give me a second while I fix this. This needs to be fixed. Come on. Oh no, what's going on? The camera battery died while we're live. It like heated up. Yeah, and it's not turning on. What's going on? Okay, we might have to do this, and this one's dead. All right, hold up, y'all. Okay, I'm switching batteries again. I don't know if it's just the battery. Give me one sec, y'all. Okay, I think we got it figured out. All right, all right, all right. We're back. Maybe. Let's see. Hopefully it works. And let's go. Here we go. Oh, I had to move the camera. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Hey, everybody. Sorry. The battery camera dies. It sometimes it overheats. That's pretty normal. So that's why it took me a minute to figure it out. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Shout out to everybody in chat. We're back. All right. And I promise y'all, I'll put some timestamps because that took me a good 5 minutes to figure out. I think the batteries, they just overheat sometimes. And so I have to, not that they're dead, it just overheats. Okay, we're back. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Shout out to everybody. And again, thank you guys for gifting. You guys are amazing. Shout out to the new members. Let's get it together, and I'll make sure that I edit some of this videos for those that are watching the replay. So yesterday, somebody sent me a very interesting video. I don't know these people, but apparently these people are David's friends. And they had some commentary about what's going on with the David situation. And I thought, well, let's talk about it because, they are saying, well, we're getting harassed. We're, this is what's happening. And I want to consider this to be like, this is a different generation, different era type of thing, right? Like these are younger kids. They're definitely kids in my book because, I'm a lot older than them. But this video is called Vet Knew David and Celeste we're living a murder mystery. Okay. And I guess they're just unpacking the controversy, murder mystery, and internet conspiracies from wild theories to true crime talk. It's dark, it's raw, and unfiltered. So one of these people is like friends with David and knows David, and so it's weird because it's like, are you being serious about the things that you're saying, or like, are you just talking shit, or what? So let's get into this, okay? I'm gonna start right over here.
Also did the Zodiac Killer.
You guys sound funny.
Also did.
Welcome back to
this spooky season, like Ian said, and there's a very famous murder mystery case in the news right now. So we're like, let's make the whole episode about famous murder mysteries because I feel like that's a topic that is genuinely interesting to almost everybody. And also, there's so many famous ones that I just don't know anything about. So we all took the time to educate ourselves, learn the stories behind some famous murders, and we're gonna go over that. But before we do,
it would be one thing to talk about that, but then to adding like Celeste and David, and so this being kind of like a recent thing, it was just in my opinion, very distasteful to even start there. But yeah, the member sent this to me, and I was like, I watched some of it. I said, this is just distasteful. Period.
That. How did you guys watch other YouTubers videos?
No, I just was reading.
Reading?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching takes too long. What did you do?
Watch.
Chat.
Yeah, same. Why the would you do anything else? What you would use Google instead? That's crazy.
Okay, hurry up.
But yeah. So what? Let's all say the story that we got first. What's your story, Tiff?
I did the Black Dahlia.
What did you do, Ian?
I had two, but the one I'll probably present is John Bennett Ramsey.
Okay. Vit, which one did you do?
I did 2009 Randy Orton.
What?
Okay, what'd you actually do?
I did the Vistula Axe House murders
in Iowa.
In Iowa.
Your hood.
Mhm. My city that I do not like to claim.
Your state.
Iowa.
I'm gonna try to speed this up because, like I said, some of this is just like shit talking.
Party, I guess last year, and the girl happens to be in the background. On
The
Instagram,
victim?
there's a crop. Yes, the
Okay, so this is when she starts talking about it. Hold up, y'all. Let's get right to it.
Be real. But that is often not the case. It's just mob mentality. So I looked up a bunch related to the case. I'll tell you guys what I found. It's not much around the case, to be honest, right now. But yes.
Was he not recently found innocent?
No.
very
See,
recently?
that's the type of that be going around. But
So there's this one photo that was taken of him at a party, I guess last year, and the girl happens to be in the background. On
The
Instagram,
victim?
there's a crop. Yes, the victim. On Instagram, there's a cropped version where it's only David and Celeste. And the uncropped version, which I don't even know how people ended up finding, because like I guess they found the Dropbox link and then started spreading it. But the uncropped version has Vit in the corner,
In the background.
like, in the background, but it's like right there, like he's right
It's
next to
literally him, her. I'm probably 5 feet away in the background. Like there's other people, but it just so happens that I'm the only face you can see.
yeah, you're looking like towards that direction. Clearly, like not at them or anything, just
like,
looking that way.
past them.
With the most recognizable Asian face on the internet.
them. Yeah, and he looks evil in that photo, by the way.
I look like his henchman. I'm dead.
Getting caught in a photo looking like his
It's
minion. is
actually
crazy.
insane how like, because obviously I also have like a crazy RBF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're talking specifically about a crop photo, not him, but the other guy was in this crop photo, and Celeste was in this photo, and this is kind of how they knew. Yeah, Randall guy, I'm kind of there. Like I can't stand when podcasters pretend to be serious, but you see them try not to smile, and it's gross. Like I don't like it. The Light, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you, my love. Thank you. Let's get into this. Hold on. And like I said, I'm not. This is about an hour and 30 minutes. I'm only going to play so much of it. I just think it's gross. Like it is. It would be one thing to say, listen, guys, we're getting harassed. We don't know anything. Sure, we were at parties, but we're getting harassed. They kind of made a whole thing about this.
You look like a thug.
Yeah, I just look evil. So
Yeah. And so his manager texted him in the morning, and he's like, "Hey, like TMZ reached out to me with this picture."
No, before that happened, I was just waking up, literally like within the first 5 seconds of me waking up. I'm still groggy. I haven't defrosted. Tiff turns to me like, babe, look at this picture, blah, blah, blah. And immediately I sober right up. I'm wide awake. And the only things that come out of my mouth are, why me? I don't like leaving my house. I actually hate those parties. That night I was there. I remember what party it was. I hated my life.
What party was it? Can you guys say?
It was a birthday party for a girl.
Okay. Just some random, not somebody you know or friends with?
We know her.
Okay. I know her?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Regardless, yeah, just like why me? There's hundreds of people there.
And there's been a pretty severe outcry. Like people have been like,
well, no, I don't think that full picture is out, and I don't care if it's out.
They were reaching out to see if he had anything to say about that night, or like them too, right?
So
Like, they just want
TMZ reached out to my manager, and he was like, my manager texted me. He was like, hey, don't know anything about this, but got this email. Blah blah blah. How do you want to handle it? And I literally responded. I was like, I don't know them. I didn't talk to her that night. I don't even think I spoke to David that night. That was before I knew him. That was before I knew him, actually, because I formally introduced myself to him not that long ago, like a few months ago. So yeah, just crazy happenstance or whatever.
That's crazy.
It's also a photo that people have been using like a lot, like when they talk about it on TikTok.
Yeah, because it's like a clear photo of the two of them together, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Just knowing that they're right, that 1 inch of like more context and just Vit's there like
insane,
looking like a thug.
Like him out of all people too.
Yeah, especially because you're.
Here's the deal: is I don't even know why these guys are. What are they famous for? I don't. Maybe they sing. TikTok. I don't know. Again, clearly a much younger generation than I am. But so yeah, I mean, I could see that side of like, I just went to a party and then this picture was cropped, and I had nothing to do with this. I don't know. I didn't really know him then. Like, okay, that'd have been a fine statement, but it sounds like they have been receiving maybe pushback from all of that, right? Because of this specific picture.
so recognizable. Like any other random Asian guy in that picture, like they might have never found who it was. Well, I'm doing the Jack the Ripper and the Manson murders. Forgot to say that. But let's go on the current case, the David case. So what I found is, and just let's give some context for the people watching. David is a very popular musician, blowing up right now. He's done tracks for the Invincible show, right? And like he has a lot of really, really mainstream popular songs.
Yeah, multiple songs, over 1 billion plays, like huge.
He has one called Romantic Homicide, which apparently there's a lot of biggest song, and there's a lot of like innuendos to like potentially killing a lover. Anyways, so I forget how long ago, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, there's a body found in the trunk of a Tesla that is registered to David. Now, this body was she was literally 15. And the body was so decomposed that it was hard for them to ID who this girl was until they finally figure out that it was this girl, Celeste. And now, after that information came out, obviously this makes the news that this famous musician was linked to this murder, right? He's not charged. They do search his house. They take electronics and whatever. They take stuff as evidence. Still not charged. Obviously, in this country, you are innocent until proven guilty. Now, a lot of people are saying that Celeste was pregnant, that the body was pregnant. That is false. Autopsy says that she was not pregnant.
Yes.
Next step is...
That was like weeks ago that we found that out, right? But it was I personally would say that it was fair to speculate because a lot of us were like, well, why would a grown-ass man be with a child, right? So our minds... and I'll own that too. We definitely speculated to that. Happy that she wasn't. Happy that she's not, right? Like that didn't happen. But it was fair speculation given the circumstances, right?
That while it is a homicide case, because the body was found decomposing in a trunk, they have no determination of cause of death, which is like the first step in a homicide case. They got to figure out what killed this person. They don't know that yet. No one's been charged or named as a suspect, including David. And he's been apparently cooperating fully with the police. So they've questioned him. They've searched his crib. They've seized like electronics, right? To like look at communications, I'm sure. There's screenshots circulating of David supposedly communicating with Celeste through Discord, claiming that they had a relationship. There's all these like strange coincidences that look like they were dating, right? And regardless of if he killed her or not, that girl was 13 or so when these allegations were happening. So either way,
yes,
there's some weirdo allegations happening here. And
weirdo allegations, very, very true. Now, I don't know if like Charlie Kim, I don't know if you're being serious or you're just being sarcastic or like what. I don't think that they need to be weeping uncontrollably or anything like that. I don't think that's what anybody's asking. I definitely am not. I think it's okay to have a level of like understanding, well, this is somebody's child. They didn't know her personally, sure. To a lot of people, there's a lot of things I've said, like there's people that pass away. I don't know them personally, but I might have a level of couth and respect for the fact that, man, we don't know, but we were accused and we want to clarify the situation. To make comparisons to other famous murders type of situation when David himself has not been charged doesn't necessarily sit well with a lot of people. I mean, that's just my thought. But again, like, I don't know if you're just being sarcastic. I'm just letting y'all know I'm not okay with that.
The most damning two pieces of evidence is that her mom said that she was dating a man. She was dating a guy named David, just never met the guy, just said his name was David. And then the second thing is they have matching tattoos on their finger of like just a thing on their index fingers. So both of these coincidences make it look like they know each other, and the fact that her body was in a car registered to him.
Was her body not dismembered?
I don't know if it was dismembered, but it was decomposed, like it was rotting.
They keep going back and forth on this too. Not them, but like in general. Like I'm still seeing commentary about this because it has not yet been determined if that's what happened.
I think it was
dismembered, like they were chopped up. Yeah. Homicide. It is for sure homicide, right? So right now, no official connections have been made between David and Celeste, at least according to media, which is crazy because like any viewer on the internet watching like those coincidences being made, you'd be like, there's no way they weren't something, right? But yeah, I mean, you would assume that the LAPD, especially with such a high profile murder case like this, would be doing due diligence, especially looking at like the TikTok detectives. But I'm noticing that people on TikTok think they could do a better job than the LAPD. Maybe, honestly, who knows? But
sometimes
I highly doubt that they haven't not.
And that's a good point. I don't think, listen, I might be a YouTuber, I might have followers, whatever it may be, but I don't think I could do a better job than LAPD, right? I have questions about certain things, like why didn't certain things happen here, or some things that, to me, in my opinion, seem like they dropped the ball here, but I don't think that we could do, they have the information that we don't.
At the fact that there are pictures of their tattoos, right?
Yeah.
So this guy's been questioned, and he still has yet to be named even a suspect. So that's what's strange to me, where everyone on the internet just wrote this off as like, this is guaranteed this guy killed her, right? But like the police are still not sure. So that must mean that there's more to it than
Has there
we
been any
know.
like DNA? I guess his car, so that makes it like hard.
Exactly. His car is the biggest one. I'm sure if they had found DNA, like once she's not pregnant, that was like a thing going around. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And yeah. So that is the facts so far.
I've heard crazy theories. I heard her family sold her. I heard his manager killed her.
We've heard them all. We've talked about some of those theories in here. I mean, put a one in the chat if you haven't heard any. Some of which it's like, some of which I'm like, I don't know about that one, but there's a lot to it, right?
I don't lie there.
Family sold her. Where's that theory on TikTok?
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok. I saw with that theory, they said he paid them like $10K a week or a month or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I think those are the things that are like unconfirmed. Like these are speculations that people are spreading around as rumors. Anytime something this big happens too, right? Anytime something takes front page of the internet, the disease of clout from clout chasers is so gross because anyone will just say and make up random with no proof just to go viral, just to like feel like they're a part of this like historical moment. I remember when we were being canceled, the amount of I would see people make up about us. Like somebody would be like
straight up lying.
Somebody was like, I was best friends with Wu-Tak's cousin and he used to beat his girlfriend. I'm like, what the you lying?
I forgot what
the reason and the amount of cancellation. Now hold up. Unfortunately, these three typically this is pretty typical of their generation. It makes me sad, the disconnection of humanity. It is what it is. You know, and maybe it's a disconnection of thing. What are they considered Gen Zs? I think they're considered Gen Zs, right? Shout out to the Gen Zs. But I think we just, some of us, and then there's this culture. Girl, funny. She's over here singing. There's this cultural aspect to it, right? Where it's like sometimes certain cultures take death very serious, and you know, they kind of wait to make jokes and stuff like that before they even go there. Chance says the Eugenia Cooney theory still gets me. Now that one, my friend, that person never came back after I was like, I don't know about the Eugenia Cooney theory. Okay. I don't believe that. Girl, okay. I don't believe Celeste is Eugenia Cooney. I don't. I don't believe she's Eugenia Cooney. I don't.
There was one specific lie they said about me that I remember reading. I was like it made me want to make a video so bad, just calling it
on them. It's like you're so
provide
desperate
the
for
proof.
clout.
If you're saying this, provide the proof.
Literally, it's like you have no way to prove any connection to me or my cousin. I have one cousin you could possibly know, and I guarantee you don't know who that is. It's just like the dumbest ever.
Well, the internet will believe anything. Or, like, people will believe anything. I mean, everyone believed that Vitt was homeless when he was going around like.
I mean, he was saying it from his own mouth, though.
The other problem is like, if you fight against it,
you look more guilty.
They'll just pile on harder.
Exactly. So and it's just like the brain deadness of believing anything just because it has likes. I feel like TikTok and Twitter are the top two places where this happens. When I'm on Twitter, the brain dead takes I see that just has like 100,000 retweets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's like stating like rumors as if it was fact, like breaking news.
I could believe that part. I do believe that there needs to be, you know, it's one thing to say something, and then when you state it as a fact, it gets out of hand. People got to be careful.
Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, bro, this is like a random Twitter page with no credentials, doesn't cite a source, and it has 100,000 retweets saying some heinous shit, and people just believe it. Just
I genuinely, like, I used to have fun with social media, and that's why, like, this whole new life was so much fun in the beginning. But nowadays, it's like rage baiting is just you straight up being and bullying. Yep. And then if the human being responds, man or woman, suddenly they're sensitive. I don't like how popularized rage baiting is.
You're a rage baiter. You rage bait me all the time.
Damn, I guess I should.
I feel like you'll also be hitting like fuck K-pop and like, I feel like it's like
you're
the brand.
number one rage baiter.
You like might be part of why it's popular.
People look up to you, dog.
But he also falls for the rage bait.
OD.
All the time.
If you're a rage baiter, you fall for rage baiting. That's so true.
There you go.
I feel like Vitt will rage bait himself. Not as much anymore. But like when I first get you like meet someone, something small. Them.
Yeah.
That is how I used to be.
I mean, way more tolerant now.
Yeah. Well, completely different man now at this point, but
I'm waiting.
There were other things I wanted to say I hated.
I'm
but
like waiting for them to get like, can we get to the commentary? Hurry up. All right.
And she's like, "Are you friends with Wu-Tak?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's my boy." This is like right after like mega cancellation, right? And she's like, "Wow, do you support him and all his views?" And he's like, I don't know what like you're asking about, but like that's my friend. Like in real life, he's not like, I don't know what you think about him, but he's not like that in real life. And she goes, wow, that's disgusting. I'm gonna unfollow you too. And he's just like, what the fuck, bitch? Like I don't care. Like who do you think? I don't even know who you are. You just walked up to me. You don't like you clearly know who I am. Asking me if I support my friend. Like yeah, I support my friend. And it's just like the fucking weirdo shit where it's like, how the fuck off of the things I've talked about in my life have I become like a polarizing political figure? You know what I mean? It's like I'm gonna unfollow you over your support of him. Support what? What do I do that he needs to support? We're friends. Like the fuck? Like support me drinking? Like the fuck? Support me talking about tequila? Like
motherfuckers be weird, man.
Weird, bro. It's like you are so obsessed with other people's lives on the internet because you have probably nothing going for yourself. But geez.
I blocked Vit once, and then within the hour, I had multiple comments going, did you and Vit break up? Did you blah, blah,
Is
blah,
that what
blah?
happened? I got DMs about that.
Wait, what?
And I
That's
checked.
insane.
I had to check and be like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
Again, the life of social media. I'm trying to get to like, where are we going with this? Let's go. I want to, we talk about David. That's what we talk about.
How do you get sponsors?
True.
Get
Fuck
extra
yeah.
sponsors.
You know what? I'm going to start hitting up my managers and be like, hey, can you find sponsors for my 1 mil party? Fuck yeah, let's throw a party.
Hell yeah. 1 million bitches for your 1 million followers.
1 million bitches, 1 million bottles.
We're going to have a Google form link if you would like to be one of the 1 million women.
Bitches. I'll say bitches for you. 1 million bitches. There will be a Google form.
another one. Oh, man.
We're gonna get to
this
the
shit gonna get me in
transcript
trouble.
eventually.
Anyways, the David shit.
Thank you.
Have you met David as well?
Yeah, I have.
Can you guys describe his?
It took them 20 minutes to get to the David thing. That's like, okay, let me stop. Let me shut up. Now they're getting to it.
Like I've never once seen the man or been near him. And while you guys are not friends, like what's the vibe like?
I had nothing bad to think about when I met him. I always thought he was really nice and he was like funny. I think like, yeah, one time we were at Barney's together and Vin and I were role playing, meeting each other for the first time at the bar, and then he pulled up and then played along with it. So we were like, okay, he's like a funny guy.
Yeah.
He's young, right? He's like 22, 23.
He's early.
So
20s.
I actually just found out that he was 20.
20 years old.
At least that's what the news said.
Jeez.
Oh, he's not 20.
He is 20 years old. Yeah, he's born in 2005.
Wow. I thought he was 21.
Okay, so he's 5 years older than the girl whose body was found.
Interesting.
Huh, but even still, that means like she was 13, he was 18 if they really did date. That is creepy. That's fucking creepy. This girl I was dating told me a story where she said that when she was 13, her first boyfriend was when she was 13 years old and he was 18. And it was at church. He was the PK, like the pastor's son. And I was like, what the fuck? And like I feel like these stories are so fucking normal and so fucking weird.
I was 18. My first girlfriend was 11. Kidding.
Cancel him. Clip
Clip the kidding part.
Yeah, clip the kidding part out.
And then just zoom into our faces, like our reaction.
No.
Wait, he said he was 18 and his first girlfriend was 11. I hope he says kidding. Okay, let's just. Do you see what I'm saying? It's this like, this is funny. This is okay. I'm like, do y'all know how serious this shit is?
And then it cuts to like the podcast continuing without him there.
And the picture of the David thing.
Guys, it's dark humor. You guys just wouldn't understand.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie. His music makes him sound so guilty, though, right? Like, have you seen all the stuff about his songs?
Yeah, that's the other part.
There's one literally called Celeste.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Apparently unreleased, and who knows if that's even like
Yeah,
real.
that shit I don't believe, right? Like the Romantic Homicide is like a big ass song. You can listen to the lyrics and you're like, that shit lines up a little bit. But the ones that people are, that's what I mean by people making shit up and what I mean by misinformation. It's like, you never know where that fucking information came from. Even the people with screenshots, you just don't know. You can doctor shit so easily, right? And yeah.
I think it might be on his SoundCloud.
Really?
Yeah.
I am very interested to see where this case goes.
Yes. Well, we will stay on top of it for you guys in case you're interested. But let's get to the schmeat of the episode. Yeah, so I think that's the thing I wanted to dispel is like, dude, he was proven innocent, not proven innocent, just not charged with anything yet. Not guilty
yet.
either. So it's like the case has just not moved, to be honest. Maybe by the time you watch this, it has. But as of today, September 30th, it has not.
Well, one more thing before we move on. Say he didn't do any of that shit. Do you still think his career is just over?
No, actually, I don't think his career is over if he didn't do it.
It would have to be some solid evidence.
What I think though, if it's proven that he had a relationship with her, I think he might be cooked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's cooked if he could somehow prove he was not connected whatsoever.
Well, then even there's that there's two Celeste.
There is two Celeste.
I don't know all the facts concerning that specific situation too.
Yeah,
because I've been hearing some crazy shit about that.
Yeah, I saw him on stream with a girl that people were trying to claim was the girl that was murdered, and then basically people were like, "That's a different girl named Celeste who's fully alive." Yeah. So yeah, I think that this, if he gets out of this by proving he had no relationship with the deceased person, and that obviously it wasn't him, then he'll be chilling.
How could you even prove that? I think for them, it's like I said, there's definitely a generational situation happening here. How we react to crime, how we react to death, how we react to certain things, right? They're kind of joking around. He's over here talking about my first girlfriend was 11 and I was 18. I mean, clearly a lot of us wouldn't find that to be a joke, because that's shouldn't be normalized. It shouldn't be joked about, because there are cases out there like that. But again, a lack of understanding in that aspect, I guess. I don't know. These are people that I wouldn't necessarily say that we're best friends, but it sounds like between friends and acquaintances of David that might have been pictured where Celeste might have been at as well.
But yeah, I mean, RIP to the poor victim and her family. But
yeah.
Anyways, and that shit is gruesome because of like how fucked up the body is and shit. But these stories, these are the most famous murder mysteries in history.
Oh God.
Where it's a murder mystery because either they got away with it or it's just like fucking sick and twisted.
So they talk about David, and then they start talking about the murder mysteries of, the Black Dahlia, John Benet Ramsey, these kinds of situationships. I mean, they don't really get into too much. I think this is just a horrible, in my opinion. Now, so I think I forgot who said it in the chat. Well, they didn't really know them. They didn't know the victim. No, they didn't. But there's a way in which you kind of handle situations like that. It's concerning whether David is charged or not, right? Desensitized much, right? I would say so too, because let's be very real. Viet knew David and Celeste were living a murder mystery. Really? We're living a murder mystery. I don't know. So they kind of go back and forth on that, but I do feel like there's a level of seriousness, even if it's not somebody that you knew personally. I think that we should take the internet theories about us getting canceled. Thank God for the bookmarks and the timestamps. Craziest TikTok theories, and there have been some crazy theories. We just said one, like somehow, what is it? Celeste's Eugenia Cooney or some shit like that. There's a lot to it. I would say we have to kind of be careful with them because they're crazy. They're just crazy ass theories, and people need to be careful. And this is why people don't necessarily take the internet serious, because you have people like that. Internet has people thinking everything is VR. I don't think they're 14 or 15, but they're definitely young. They're lame as F. Lumping this. Yeah, I wouldn't lump this case with the Black Dahlia or John Benet Ramsey. I don't like lumping cases, right? You think it's weird? Given that it's still an active investigation, it would be different if they're like, we're trying to clear our name. Yes, I was in a picture. This is how much I knew about David, but didn't really know him kind of situation. But it is weird. It definitely is. Hold up, y'all. Okay, thank you. Lord have mercy, I hate autocorrect. I'm supposed to send a message. I think it's weird. It's cringe. But it's a younger generation, so maybe it's like the way in which they see things. Wait, what's the Eugenia theory? Somebody came in my comments and said that that Celeste is really Eugenia Cooney, and this is why it's like Eugenia Cooney disappeared. So it must be Celeste. Baby Bunny is singing. I'm a firm believer in the presumption of innocence, and that includes David in this case, but he's not guilty. That is the most unlucky SOB I've ever seen. I don't know. I just don't think it's tasteful. Like, I go back.
Suspect, including David, and he's been apparently cooperating fully with the police. So they've questioned him. They've searched his crib. They've seized like electronics, right? To like look at communications, I'm sure. There's screenshots circulating of David supposedly communicating with Celeste through Discord, claiming that they had a relationship. There's all these like strange coincidences that look like they were dating, right? And regardless of if he killed her or not, that girl was 13 or so when these allegations were happening. So either way, there's some weirdo allegations happening here. And the most damning two pieces of evidence is that her mom said that she was dating a man. She was seeing a guy, dating a guy named David. Just never met the guy. Just said his name was David.
Well, and that's what she told TMZ, right?
And then the second thing is they have matching tattoos on their finger of like just a thing on their index fingers. So both of these coincidences make it look like they know each other, and the fact that her body was in a car registered to him.
Was her body not dismembered?
I don't know if it was dismembered, but it was decomposed, like it was rotting.
I think it was
dismembered, like they were chopped up. Yeah. Homicide. It is for sure homicide, right? So right now, no official.
Well, no, I don't even think they're calling it a homicide yet. But again, like,
connections have been made between David and Celeste, at least according to media, which is crazy because, like, yeah, like any viewer on the internet watching like those coincidences being made, you'd be like, "There's no way they weren't something," right? But yeah, I mean, you would assume that the LAPD, especially with such a high-profile murder case like this, would be doing due diligence, especially looking at like the TikTok detectives. But I'm noticing that people on TikTok think they could do a better job than the LAPD. Maybe, honestly, who knows? But
sometimes
I highly doubt that they haven't not looked at the fact that there are pictures of their tattoos, right?
Yeah.
So this guy's been.
Well, there's that. But yeah, I just think it's a serious situation. That's it. That's how I see this. Maybe they don't think so, but I do.
Question, and he still has yet to be named even a suspect. So that's what's strange to me. Where everyone on the internet just wrote this off as like, this is guaranteed this guy killed her, right? But like the police are still not.
They are
sure.
repeating the same.
So that must mean that there's more to it than
Has there
we
been any
know.
like DNA? I guess his car. So
I mean, at the least, hold up, y'all. Baby Bunny's doing the most. I don't condone this type of ish, nor do I condone weirdos like this. It's just the interaction, you know. Government knows the fact that it's a homicide because she couldn't have put herself in the trunk. Well, not if they don't label it that way, y'all. I mean, I don't know. I'm waiting. I think we're all waiting, but they don't seem to be in a hurry. And maybe they're just waiting for the talks to figure out how she died exactly, you know? So there's that. Guys, I'm going to let you guys go because Baby Bunny is doing the most. So I got to go tend to her. It's a lot of information that's coming out. Now, I did not realize Sue just gifted 5 memberships. Deb, member for a month. Thank you, my love. And Nebby also gifted. Thank you, guys. I'm going to let you guys go because I got to go tend to Baby Bunny. You know, I don't know. She's doing the most right now. But y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments. Maybe this is just how this is a generation, different interaction. They didn't know Celeste like that. So maybe we're expecting there to be a level of empathy. For me, I just always think that it's always good to, even if you didn't know the person that died, you know, or you didn't care for what was going on. I think it's important. Belen is in the chat. Shout out to Belen. I will see you guys because I got to go tend to this child. She is doing the most, you know, as baby bunnies do. Do the most, do the most, do the most. All right, guys. I will see you guys later. Bye, guys. Hit the like button. Bye, guys.